Well, hello everyone. This is Soul Talk. Welcome, the angel and the instigator. What do you choose? So, a little bit about this. I'm ALENA CHAPMAN, your host, and we have Melinda Engel, who's my co-host, and I'm going to be the angel, and she's going to be the instigator. What this show is all about is we're faced with constant choices in our relationships, whether that's relationships with self, relationships with friends, right, or lovers, or work. Everything is a relationship because that's what your soul is here to experience. Now, how we deal with those, we have a choice. We can either take a road that is more of peace and growth and peace. Yes. That peace we all want all the time, right? And yet we never allow ourselves to have. Or we can go the instigator route, and we can do it the way that we've always seen in movies, or we see with people in our families. Yes. And the anger and the, I don't know. You know what I heard?
What?
I heard this woman, she was mad at this guy because he was leaving her. You know what she did? She not only set the car on fire, she put fireworks inside and blew it up.
That is me.
That is an instigator. And although that might feel really good in the moment, she likes that one.
I do.
Even though that sounds fantastic for the moment, it does not create peace in your heart and soul. And sometimes we do need to vent out, but vengeance is a whole nother ball game, right? Because then you've just added fire and fire fighting fire.
And jail time.
And jail time. And fire fighting fire always creates more fire, which definitely sometimes results in jail time. So in that case, it definitely will. Yeah. But anyway, I just heard that this week. I thought that was a really, I thought, what purpose did that serve? I mean, yeah, she's mad, but
it just made her feel better, I'm sure.
Well, for a little while, it's like a vengeance.
Well, yeah.
Well, vengeance.
Sometimes you got to get them because they got you.
No, not always. No. It's good to air it out and get the anger out of you. I know you know this lot in your mind, but sometimes. But do we want vengeance? I don't know. I don't want vengeance anymore. I want to just get you out of my life.
Right.
And I'll forgive you, but I'm not going to trust you again. I'm not going to let you in again.
Well, see, I think the whole, forgive people to move on, I think that's BS. I don't think that's true.
The forgiveness is not for them.
Well, yeah, that's what everyone says.
No, it really isn't.
But there's stuff that I'm not harping on that have happened to me that I don't forgive people for, but it doesn't affect me anymore. But I still don't give a shit about them.
No. You forget about what forgiveness is. Forgiveness isn't, there are people that I forgive. There was a person who did our holistic barn gathering that I forgive. Actually, there were a bunch of people. I forgive them, but I won't have them back.
Right.
And I keep them at arm's length because they harmed something for me. They harmed my event. They harmed the whole purpose of it. So I will hold them at bay. I won't let them in to do it again.
Right.
But I also know that, I forgive what they've done because it frees me.
Right.
And it sounds selfish. It's also, I'm not going to be mean to them, but I just won't let them in.
Right. Well, that's fine.
That's the forgiveness. The forgiveness is to just cut the chain off of you.
I can do that without forgiveness. I'm serious.
Okay. Well, that's all right too, if that's what you can do. You know what I mean?
I just think that forgiveness is a little bit of grace, and I don't think that some people need that. So I think they should suffer.
Yeah. There you go. That's one of the but see, this is the choices you make in your life. And these are the choices that, now for me, I had to forgive. Right. Because, well, my gosh, you know the story of my life. I my divorce was awful. And even the thing that was happening here, sometimes people just have a very adverse feelings against what I do and who I am. And so with that, I have, I could just never forgive, but gosh, it's so much to hold on to. And I found that forgiveness, when I have forgiveness, I really do. If you read which book? The one that you can't escape from a prison if you don't know you're in one. At the end, I talk about during my divorce, even though stuff was happening constantly, that was really brutal and really cruel. I actually tried to forgive all the way through. It did really weird things because, like, we would be at a soccer game or something, and somebody in that family would need help getting down the risers, and I held out my hand and said, I will help. Now, they didn't take it. Right. But the acts of kindness I had, because I had let that go, I just kept letting it go, and I kept just trying to let it go. And it was hard.
Well, I still think
wait, but this is the thing. At the very end of the divorce, I lost what I was fighting for in the court system. And we went way up, and I lost. And so, but that's when, because I really think it was because I forgave, and I was trying not to put harm on anyone. I was just trying to get my life going in another direction and try to win something for my kids. But they called and said, we know what you were fighting for, and we're going to give you everything that you asked. Now, I really think it was because I wasn't fighting fire with fire. Do you see?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I agree with that completely. I just don't think that just because you're nice to someone or whatever, that doesn't mean that they forgive you. No,
civil.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and you're a nice person. You would have done that anyway. I know you. So that's irrelevant. But I feel like I don't have to forgive someone to move on and be a good person.
Okay.
I feel that way.
Okay. No, you're not alone.
Especially for people who have an issue with, like, taking accountability for the things that they've done to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, those people who just absolutely refuse, no grace.
And I know your story too, and I do think there is a level. It would be hard in some of the situations you've been in, and I get it because it's continuous. So yes, and that's what it's about. It really is about. And you have done your best to you've learned the lesson. You're letting it go to a certain extent, but you still hold them accountable. Right. Am I right?
Right.
That's another way of doing it. But I guess spirituality is your growth, and what keeps you in a place of ascension and peace.
Yes.
And really, that's what it comes down to. And what you're willing to accept on that journey is where your growth goes. So I'm not going to condemn you. You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, that's a good way to do it. And you're a good person too, right? See, that's the whole thing. That's why I love this podcast. Because the instigator is not always the so-called instigator. We're just labeling it. It's not really. But an instigator, that's not a wrong path. She's still letting go, right? And I'm letting go by forgiveness. It's all what you can accept. The whole thing is for you to be at more peace within yourself. And what happens when you're at peace within yourself and start to tap into that divine feminine of knowledge and wisdom of the light, then all of a sudden, then what's wrong? I mean, are we any better doing that? Or are we better with some of the so-called people who were so enlightened? And I mean, come on. I can name 2 that were pedophiles. Yeah. So
it's interesting to say the least.
It is. And I really don't think, we're a real deal here. And so, I think if you can do it that way, good going. More power to you.
Anyway, I think that you can get it done for your own self and not for anybody else is the most important thing.
It is.
You know, and that's why we joke sometimes, and I say, you know, oh, we'll blow them up or burn their house down. That's jokes. But, you know, sometimes stuff like that does make you feel better. Maybe you do need to go outside and break something, or...
Well, I told you I wanted to go to that anger
rage room.
I want to go to a rage room.
Yes, rage room.
I want to see what that's like.
We're definitely going to do that. And we'll take you guys along for the ride.
Oh, that would be fun. Yeah, I think, well, there you go. You got a choice there.
Yep.
What's right for you and gives you that feeling of relief is really what's right for you.
Yeah.
What's a question?
And it's...
Does someone send one in?
It's linear, so...
Isn't that the truth? Yeah. Well, that's life, hon. That's life.
And yes, we have 2 questions. Dear Angels and Instigators, us. I've been on this self-love journey for a while now, but some days it feels more like self-toleration. I try the affirmations, the bubble baths, even the expensive candles that promise to cleanse my aura, or at least my apartment.
Yeah.
But then life happens. I oversleep, I stress eat, and suddenly my self-love turns into a guilt trip. So tell me, what's one daily practice that can help me truly embrace self-love even on my worst days?
I don't blame you. I hope you're listening, though. All right. I'll let you start.
Me? I don't know. I think guilt comes from a weird place. I don't necessarily think it's something that's actually bad that makes you feel bad. I think it's the way that you look at things and the way that you're brought up to see things. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
So, like, so what? You eat some pizza. You know, like, that is not the biggest deal in the world. Your world is not going to end because you had an extra sauce of pizza.
Right. Stop
like,
beating yourself up.
Yeah, like, who cares? You want a piece of cake? Go eat a piece of cake.
Yeah.
Why should you feel guilty about that? I hate the saying that people want their cake and they want to eat it too. Why the hell would I buy cake if I didn't want to eat it? Why would I do that? You know what I mean? Like, just... I don't think you should do anything other than what brings you happiness, even if it is binge eating or something. Of course, you know, we want you to be healthy and we don't want you to have, you know, unhealthy coping mechanisms for eating. But one day out of the week, you have an extra sauce of pizza or you overindulge. There's nothing wrong
with that. You can have a movie night and eat potato chips all night if you like.
Exactly, and that's what I'll do.
And self-love is not... And the candles and stuff. Oh gosh, everybody tries to sell. I was saying it earlier. We want to be like in a McDonald's line, and we want that magic hamburger that's gonna, or a pill or something that is just gonna make us feel. You know, it's fast food. Like we just want to feel like it's that fast. If
an instant, yes.
And we're gonna love ourselves. Yep. Yeah, and we're gonna ascend right now. So. I think, self-love takes time, and it's an inside job. Yes. It's not what it is a combination of what we do out here, but it has to start in here. So, okay, sounds beautiful, right? How do you do it? And it's a slow process. Yes. And I think self-love comes with, forgiveness of, that's a word Melinda doesn't like at all. But for yourself, and knowing that you're okay as a person, and giving yourself room to say, I'm not weird, I'm unique. Right. I'm not perfect, but I'm learning and I'm growing. And I am that, if you're a girl, I am that little girl inside of me who's here on a journey, and start to love that little girl who is on a journey. And it's okay if I make a mistake. It's okay if I eat that piece of cake. It's okay if I do. And if I want a bubble bath, then I'll have a bubble bath. But not because that's going to cause me to love myself. It's something that I just want to do. If I want to sing in the rain, I'm going to sing in the rain. So it's starting to understand ourselves as we're here to learn. Right. I want to have fun doing the podcast. I want to have fun with my clients. I want to dance in the rain when I want to dance in the rain. I just want to have fun. Right. And I don't see why I have to have anything else.
You don't?
No. But it's that understanding. And I love myself more for admitting that and enjoying who I am. And it comes, and to start with baby steps, if you need some baby steps, I really think, first of all, there's exercises you can do. And there are exercises that I do with my clients. I have them make out a beautiful list. I have them do their gratitudes every day, first of all. But their gratitudes are thanking something they did. Like a decision they made. Yeah. Like, I decided to help this child cross the road. Write that down. Right. I was proud of myself. Or I helped somebody with reading today. Or I helped my dog learn not to jump on me today. Right. Little things like that. And then, or I decided to learn how to paint today. Write those things down and then absorb it. Don't just write it and leave it. Feel it. That's pretty darn cool. And I think, and then I also there's writing, there's list the things that make you feel like the person you want to be. So if you want to be that person who is young and experimenting, feeling free to experiment, then write that down. If you are that person who wants to be strong and independent, write that down. And then aspire every day in one little way to be more like that. Mm-hmm. Do you see? And if you make mistakes, it's okay. We all make mistakes. It's not a reason to stop. Right. Those are ways to start to love who you are. And then keep a fun journal if you like. You can do that in recording if you're sick of writing. But like, how did the day go, and what made you the happiest that day?
I have a suggestion for the guilt part.
Okay, go for the guilt part.
So, probably when I was like 21, I had this weird epiphany one day. Like, okay, I've seen, I had a lot of body issues growing up, obviously. And I would see other girls and I would be like, oh, they're so hard on themselves and they look so beautiful, even when they didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
And, for a while, I just wondered, like, why do I not give myself the same grace? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And if you kind of look at yourself and you decide, hey, if I was talking to my child the way that I talk to myself in my inner dialogue, like, how damaging would that be?
Exactly.
For a child. So if you try to see yourself like, hey, you're just a person. You know what I mean? You're doing this just like the rest of us. Give yourself...
Don't talk to yourself like you would...
Right. Like, you wouldn't just walk up to a girl and be like, you look fat in that outfit. I can't believe you had 3 pieces of cake.
Well, some people do that,
Okay,
though.
Well, some people are evil. And those people you can hit with your car.
No, you cannot. But yes, I understand what you're saying.
Be tender with yourself,
Yeah.
It's just...
Yeah, be tender with yourself. Yeah. Well, if you're aspiring, and that's what I mean, when you don't aspire to what you want to be or who you think you are or want to portray, be okay with that. Don't beat yourself up. There's another day. Right?
And tomorrow will be better.
And tomorrow might even be better, or it might be easier.
Right.
I think we are too hard on ourselves, and the world does that to us, and it shouldn't. We're all here to learn and to grow. And gosh, if you love yourself and you love how you're dressing and how you portray to other people and you're having fun, I don't know. One of the things I did when I broke my arm here at this house, I'd sit on the front porch, and it was in the summer, and I busted up my arm really good. And there were butterflies that would come and dance in my driveway. Oh. And I thought, I want to dance with them. But I'm thinking, that's so childish, right?
Who cares?
Right, that's right. Who cares? And I got out there and I started dancing with the butterflies. And the butterflies would land on my shoulder and on my arms. And I was in heaven. I couldn't be more beautiful at that moment. Right. I couldn't be more at peace. I couldn't be more loving. But if I had sat on that porch and thought, oh, that's so silly, I'm not a little girl anymore. Right. Oh my gosh, what do I think I'm doing? I broke my arm. I can't go out and dance. Oh, come on, grow up, ALENA. Right? If I started having that dialogue, I would have never experienced that moment.
Right.
And really, loving yourself is sort of an out-of-body experience because you're seeing the beautiful soul that's it within. And so all the exercises and all the things and guilt, hey, guilt is, that I help, well, I don't know if, one of the things I do is I help souls to the light. Souls come to the house all the time. The other night, I don't know what was going on. It's like everybody in the world found me. And I help them into the light. And usually, do you know one of the most powerful things that keeps them out of the light?
What?
Guilt.
Yeah, I could see that.
Guilt. I'm not worthy.
Right.
I'm going to be condemned if I go up there. I'm a horrible person. I did a horrible thing. I hear that over and over and over again. And so all the time I'm helping them get over guilt. Now, guilt is something that, I'm sorry, if you're suffering from guilt, you've got to look at it and say, all right, if it's from something you've done to someone, you have the power right now to change it. And if that guilt is something that has passed, then right now you can change how you act going forward with everything else. Yes. And that releases the guilt of whatever you caused. That guilty thing. And if it's guilt against what? That noise within you, you're not worthy, then you can take action right now to let that go. And we just gave you the exercises. Yes. And starting, dance with some butterflies. Allow yourself, and don't let that voice come in, because that's somebody else's voice that is telling you you're not worthy. It's not even your guilt. It should be theirs. You're the one who's suffering from the damage of that. Right. So you've got to say, this is not mine to own. It is not mine. I am not that little girl. Right. I'm what they think the little girl was, but I know who I am. And go on the discovery of discovering yourself. Be who you want to be. Yes. This is your chance. So yeah, but it has to come from in here. Yeah. And then if you want to light candles, light candles. I love candles. And if you take bubble baths, dance with butterflies.
I take bubble baths all the time.
I love them. And so, but that's all outside stuff that's a result of you wanting to, you're worthy of doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope that we gave them some things to follow.
If you need more in-depth help, just reach out.
Yeah, more direct help. If you do, reach out to, go check out mysticalsoul.com. Yeah. Because mysticalsoul.com has gotten really cool. My website is really cool now. It's amazing. Or listen to more of these shows, or what is it? DM me.
TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all of it.
Just YouTube. Private message me. If you have questions you want us to answer, DM us. Leave a message under here. But if it's private, then send us a message privately. Right. You do not have to leave your name on these questions either. I do try to make all the courses very affordable. Yes. So that people can grow. The one I love is on self-love and that divine. And the more you delve into that beautiful part of your soul, that divine feminine, then love just comes. It really does. And can I straighten something out here? Yeah. Because I got a pet peeve.
Okay.
I do. And we're going to do it on this podcast. We'll do that other question next time.
Okay.
I heard, listen to this. I heard someone saying, well, this is the divine feminine. And they told a guy, it's only for girls.
Well, no.
No.
You have the counterpart always.
Yes. Your soul, the divine feminine is not a sex.
Right.
It is not. It is the soul. It is the divine feminine of the soul and the divine masculine of the soul have to work together, and they do work together. What has happened through ages is that the divine feminine, not only in women, but in men, was told to be not trusted.
Right.
You don't trust that. You trust what we teach you. You trust, you can't find, you might have gotten the right answer, but you didn't do the right procedure. You have to do the way we teach you, what we teach you, and everything else is false. So that means that shuts down the divine feminine. And that creates a strong divine masculine part of the soul. There's a problem with that though, because when the divine feminine part of the soul works with the divine masculine of the soul, what happens is they work in a wonderful way that manifests every dream that you can have. And that's where all new knowledge comes from, is the divine feminine. And where does it come from? From the light.
I like to think of it as like the sun and the moon. Like we can't live without either one.
No, you can't.
So you have to have both.
You do, because all that beautiful information from the light, all the original, how to form pyramids or whatever, comes down, and then the divine masculine of the soul says, I got it. This eureka. I can write that book.
Right.
I can create that beautiful masterpiece, right?
Exactly.
And it brings it forward into the world and makes it this gorgeous creation. But right now we're so masculine and our divine feminine is shut off.
I think some of us are more feminine, not masculine. Like, I think there's a lot of one has more than the other. Like a lot of people, you know, are focused on one part of it and not the whole part together.
Actually, they are. We have some people who are only in the spiritual world and they just stay there, and then you have the others who are we see that happening in our world a lot, who are just in the masculine, and all they're doing is looking outside of themselves and recreating the same crap over and over.
Yes.
And so really,
you have to stay open-minded in order to be both.
You know, I coined a term.
Did you?
I did. Grounded spirituality.
Okay.
And grounded spirituality is not just living in the clouds and namaste, namaste every 2 minutes. It's living in every day, which I do.
Yes. Absolutely.
But living with your spirituality and always feeling that incredible strong connection, so that what you bring out into the world is new, or what you bring out into the world is a fresh idea or a new way of creation. And that's why we got this podcast.
Yeah. And you got to stay open-minded.
And also, it keeps you open-minded.
Yep.
You know, like we did at the beginning of the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's the biggest part of this, is seeing both sides. You have to be able to see it from every angle that you possibly can in order to
The
make
world
a good
is
judgment.
a messy place.
Yes.
Don't try to make it a nunnery.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, for all of you out there, so I hope we gave you food for thought.
Yeah,
Do you think we did?
I think so.
I think we did. And really, if you have not a question but you want to raise a point, fine. I'll listen to your point, you know? I think that's good. It starts dialogue. I love dialogue.
absolutely.
But most of all, it was really fun. And we've got an audience here. And I would love to... This is an awesome podcast. I would love to see you on mysticalsoul.com. Oh, guys, one thing I wanted to say. Mysticalsoul.com also has a shop. So, you can get books. Lots of cool books, actually. I'm really loving that Gnostic sex thing.
Yes.
That's so cool.
It's a good book.
I've got the cutest little, and I love it because you put it in your house, like at the windowsill, and every time you do the dishes, you see this little fairy in a cup or a dragon in a cup. It is the cutest little figurine. So check out Mystical Soul Shop. Check out the courses. Check out the blog. Whatever. And send us a question. Send us any kind of message you like. We love you all. And most of all, just become conscious of what you're choosing. And don't react. Respond. And think to myself, do I really want this? Is this how I want to grow?
And keep loving yourself.
And keep loving yourself. Hi, Charlotte. All right. Until next time, we love you.